Welcome back. This is still TV3 New Day. It's time now for the newspaper review. Let's start off with the headlines. The Daily Graphic says Chief Justice refused $5 million bribery allegation and CID begins investigations into the matter. And you'd realize that this weekend, at the end of last week or so, there were some allegations that were made against a lawyer. In fact, a chief forwarded or went to the Ghana General Legal Council to petition them to investigate a lawyer because he said that that lawyer had attempted to take some bribe from him, for ways and means to sort of perform some gymnastics so that his case would be favorable to him. And then the lawyer also responded in a statement indicating and fingering the Chief Justice. Allegedly, he says that the Chief Justice, according to that chief, was said to have requested for some $5 million to also make that case favorable for the chief. These are allegations, by the way, and now the Chief Justice has also, in a statement revealed that he wants the CID to investigate this matter. And so we're waiting to see what comes out of it. But as SEPA has been speaking about this, and they're saying that it was absolutely wrong for the Chief Justice to go to, the CID because SHRAJ is the institution that has been mandated to investigate these issues. Other lawyers are also saying otherwise. And so we'll get into that later. But Tourism Ministry launches app to spur growth and Students Loan Trust Fund chases 20,000 defaulting beneficiaries. SNIT plans deleting 13,000 names from pensioners' payroll. And at the back, 1 killed, 6 injured as truck crashes into toll booth at Tema. Very, very sad situation yesterday. May his soul rest in perfect peace. I don't know if you saw those pictures, but heartbreaking. Feed shortage hits poultry industry. Let's move now to the Ghanaian Times, and it says that over 558 fire hydrants vanish nationwide. Fire service says only 650 out of 1,210 working. And also a Jura probe, let truth come out, linguist tells commission. And yesterday, the wife of the late Kaka also made an appearance at the committee as they probe matters leading to his death. And also, GTA launches service providers customers single window app for tourism industry. Refund allowances paid to spouses of president and VIP, according to the TUC. And yesterday, the TUC indicated that some payments had been made to the first and second ladies. Now, we also received a statement from the office of the first lady last night indicating that she was rejecting the recommendation by the Emoluments Committee to have her allowances formalized and also has refunded monies over 800,000 Ghana cedis. So we'll get into that. Government signals limited need for new borrowing. That's on the Business and Financial Times. 9 pirate attacks recorded in 18 months. GMA pushing for stricter piracy laws. Tourism Ministry, GTA opens single window project initiative that intends to raise industry standards. And no threat from EU to ban cocoa. That's according to the European Union Ambassador Diana Akoncia. And also Accra to host first International Gem and Jewelry Expo in West Africa. And then the Daily Guide also says CJ access police to probe bribery, and also 1 dead, 6 injured in Tema toll booth accidents. Mahama wife salaries revealed. That's on page 3. And Akufo-Addo commissions 2 projects in Salaga. Kaka's wife explains husband's death. And finally, to the Finder, a photo of the Chief Justice, and it says Chief Justice calls for criminal investigations into bribery allegation. Treat MPs fairly. That is Honorable John Kuma. He's the MP for Ejiso and also the Deputy Minister of Finance. And yesterday he spoke about it and even said that it was illegal, first of all, per the Constitution, for MPs to be given loan because all that money is supposed to come from the Consolidated Fund. And if all other members of government are receiving some of these benefits from government, including the vehicles, then it is illegal and unconstitutional for the Finance Ministry to even provide these loans, as has been stated. Tourism to create 1 million jobs in 4 years, Minister declares as he launches Visit Ghana app. President commissions 13.9 million Ghana cedis Salaga water project and AstroTurf. And my husband was threatened several times before his death. That's the late Kaka's wife. And Cocoa Board urges culinary sector to explore recipes that maximize cocoa use in homes. Joining me this morning, he's the MP for Tamale Central, Comrade Murtala Mohammed. He was here last week. We discussed the issue of loans for the MPs, and he's back again, especially at a point where he also said it was absolutely wrong for the Emoluments Committee to even recommend the formalization of benefits or allowances for first ladies. And now we've received this letter from the First Lady's office. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning and good morning to your viewers.
I see you in a suit today. You look really fine.
for the first
For the first, exactly. I usually see you in the smock.
Yes, or African print.
Yeah, what's the occasion this time around?
Well, nothing. I have a lot of suits actually.
I see.
And I feel comfortable in the African print.
Okay.
It makes me more African.
You should wear it more, maybe.
Maybe perhaps I'm trying to behave like the bourgeoisie this morning.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, we're expecting a rep from the NPP to join us this morning so we can have this conversation. Hopefully, if he or she is able to join us early enough, we can have this conversation. But let's just move on and start with our first issue for today. And I'll start off with the letter or the statement from the First Lady's office, where she says that we have taken note of the ongoing conversation in the nation following on from these recommendations and their bipartisan approval by Parliament as mandated by the Constitution as the body which approves the emoluments of the executive. However, she says that we have decided, or I have decided, to refund all monies paid to me as allowances from the date of the President's assumption of office, that is from January 2017 to date, amounting to 899,097.84 Ghana cedis, and says that the First Lady has also decided not to accept any monies that have been allocated to be paid to her pursuant to the recommendations of the Ntiamwa Baidu Committee as approved by Parliament. She's doing this as a purely personal decision without prejudice to the rights of others and not to undermine the propriety of the process undertaken by Parliament. The First Lady does not want these matters to serve as a distraction from the good work that the President, who is currently touring the Savannah and Upper West regions, is doing to develop our nation. The First Lady will continue to support the President, as she always has done, in the execution of the mandate entrusted to him by the good people of Ghana. Also joining us this morning is Mr. George Aisi. He's the Director of Communications at NADMO. Good morning.
Yeah,
how are you
morning.
doing?
I'm good.
Everything
Bella.
okay?
I'm good.
All right, let me
Very
start off with
nice.
Comrade. And I want to find out what you make of this statement that has been released by the First Lady, saying that she's rejecting these recommendations and refunding the monies.
Good morning to my brother and good morning to your cherished viewers. Most importantly, the good people of Tamale Central. It is much ado about nothing. If the First Lady wants us to believe that she is so principled and she cares so much about this country, I think that she should return the money with interest.
Interest?
Yes, she should return the money with interest.
Why do you say that?
Why? Why is she returning the money when she herself is saying that she thinks that the money was legitimate to be paid to her? In the first place, it was absolutely illegitimate. The First Lady should understand that the committee that determines the emolument of people who are supposed to be Article 71 office holders, she's never one. The fact that your husband is a member or is an Article 71 office holder doesn't make you one. So in the first place, this attempt to create the impression that she's so principled and that I'm returning every money, and it even stated in the letter that henceforth she's not interested in taking any other money. It's understandable. That has been the position consistently on the people of the people of this country. We never knew that monies have even been paid. You remember when this whole, discussion came up?
Yeah.
The impression was created as if they haven't even effected the payment of that illegitimate money to them, and they never said anything. Until the pressure is so much exerted. And for me, it also adds up to the fidelity of our democracy, that people have the right to demand that things that are done wrongly should be corrected. I think that it is, she can't get any credit for doing what she has done. How can you get, is there like a thief came into your house and robbed you, and then you demanded and agitated, and the thief returned the money and says, clap for me? Does it even make sense? A thief stole your item, and then without even bringing the item, having used the item for several years. Now, when you got to know the thief who stole the item, you demanded and made noise that the item should be returned. The person returns the item and says, clap for me, I have returned the item. That is just a classical example of what she has done. Let's get something very clear. I think that there is nothing, and I said this on this program last week, there is nothing any First Lady, and I'm not making this in reference to just this First Lady, there is nothing any First Lady or so-called Second Lady can do that a ministry responsible to tax that cannot do. There is nothing. There is nothing in the
That's you undermining their.
I'm saying that there is
their
nothing.
role. I mean, if you say so-called, I think that's a bit derogatory.
I'm saying that we never even had this idea of second lady. You remember the idea of first lady, second lady? When did it come? It doesn't have any space in our constitution. It doesn't have any space.
But we've been paying them allowances since
I have
era.
I have a problem with the payment. Mutala has a problem with the payment. Then we must as well start paying the wife of the Chief Justice. We must as well start
Their roles
paying.
are not as recognized
Why?
as first
They are
and
all
second ladies.
What do you mean by that?
No, I'm just saying that because
Bella, they are all members.
It's a ceremonial role.
Bella,
is
Bella. Who gave them that ceremonial role? For a person to receive a salary.
They said it's not a salary.
I'm saying that it doesn't matter.
The allowance.
They want to regularize it. For a person to receive allowances, whatever and however you want to call it, that person must also be subjected to scrutiny. That person's activities and programs must be determined by the state. Everything the president does, everything any member of the Article 71 does, I'm a member of the Article 71, whatever I do is determined by the people of this country. Whatever the Chief Justice does is determined by the people of this country. Whatever the president and the vice president do is determined by the people of this country. And they are accountable to the people of this country. The people of this country have the right to scrutinize that responsibility given to them. They have. We don't have the responsibility to scrutinize. I mean, we don't have the capacity, and we cannot, and we have never scrutinized the activities of the first lady or the second lady. They are not accountable to us. They determine what they do at any point in time. But any other member within the Article 71, whatever activities you are supposed to perform, that activities are determined by law. And you account to the people. Now, how can you be paying someone's money who is not accountable to you? How can you do that? Just last week, we discussed the issues of even loan facilities given to MPs.
Yeah.
Which people have lambasted MPs. People have raised questions, some of them very legitimate, some of them not that much legitimate. And it is within the democratic space of people to raise those concerns. They are raising that because the responsibilities of members of parliament are determined by the people of this country collectively. The responsibility of the executive arm are determined by us. And that is why in a democracy, you don't do what pleases you. And I can understand the history. You remember the history of these allowances. It started when we were under a military dictatorship or a military rulership. You know, but we are in a democracy. People are questioning, and then you come back with this charade of principles that I am returning the money. You shouldn't have taken the money in the first place.
Then the other first ladies, former first ladies and second ladies, should not have taken the money. Should they now also return these allowances?
You see, when they were given allowances, when they were all given, I have told you my position. I have a problem even with the allowances given to them. In this case, it's not just the allowances. What was regularized and the arrears being paid to her. That is what we are talking about now.
But then we're all aware
I'm saying
that
what we are
allowances
talking,
have been paid.
I'm saying that what we are talking about now is not just the allowances that previous first ladies, including this current first lady and the second ladies, have taken. It has to do with the committee which recommended that payments be done and arrears be paid to them. That is what we are discussing now.
No, but she even said in her statement that it is important to state that payments of such allowances existed and was made to previous first ladies in the course of the Fourth Republic prior to Mrs. Akufo-Addo becoming the first lady. And so she did not request to be paid any allowance. She only received that which existed and attached to her status, albeit
how
informally.
About the recommendation?
And so that's why I'm asking that if she is returning, should the other former first ladies and second ladies also return?
But for the NAT statement, which, by the way, has not been contested. We didn't even know that the recommendation by the committee that they should be paid and arrears be paid, we wouldn't have known. We wouldn't have known. I'm saying that if she wants to be so principled, don't demonstrate that feign of a principle when there is so much agitation by the people of this country, and for which reason you want to appear holier than thou. You shouldn't have even taken it. To be very honest, if I were in that position, I wouldn't. If we want to go by that, if TV3 pays you because you performed a duty, there is a service. If you refuse to perform that service, I don't think that they would want to engage you. Parliament, you are supposed to go to Parliament. If you miss Parliament by a number of days, You will forfeit if you don't take time. You may even be taken off. He works with NADMO. He knows that every morning he has to go to work. And I believe that within NADMO structure, if you miss work a particular number of days, there are consequences. So I'm saying that people, because you are paid money, whether allowances or salary, to perform a duty, there is a service that you are supposed to deliver. If you are not able to deliver that service deliberately, then you forfeit the privileges that you otherwise would have gotten. I'm saying that if she wants to demonstrate, because that is what this charade of a statement is seeking to achieve, is absolutely nothing but deceitful. And I think that such stories be told to the Marines. If she wants to demonstrate that she is so principled, she shouldn't have taken the money.
Well, she says that moving forward, I have decided not to accept any monies that have been allocated to be paid.
She shouldn't have accepted it in the first place.
But is this not a show of good faith?
Bella, a thief broke into your house, stole your items. You have agitated. You have been able to identify the thief who broke into your house. Then the thief returns the money and says, clap for me. Where does it happen? Perhaps only in Kusumokaya.
Should we get receipts of payment?
I think that we need to know.
Okay.
I think the people of this country need to know.
This statement is not enough?
It's not enough. And for me, I think that if the payment is effected, if she wants us to believe her, she should pay the money with interest. She was undeserving of that money.
But what's the reason for interest? Because she's undeserving of the money?
What is the reason behind her returning the money?
Because she says that she's followed the public outcry and she does not want to come across as a venal.
She's a believer of the concerns of the people of this country.
Is that not good?
I'm saying that she's a believer of the concerns of the people of this country.
And I'm asking, is that not good?
When you do it genuinely, it is good. But when you do it because there is so much pressure, Bella, I'm a member of parliament. Then I say that because I enjoy certain privileges, my wife must enjoy the privileges. My wife was not elected as a member of parliament. The people of Tamale Central elected me. They didn't elect my wife. The people of Ghana elected the president. In fact, if we want to strictly speak, we didn't even elect the vice president. We elected the president. The vice president becomes the vice president by the fact that the president chose him as his running mate. In fact, the MPP as a political party didn't even elect Dr. Baumia as a running mate to President Nanado, a then candidate Nanado. The MPP elected candidate Nanado. They didn't elect the vice president. But the vice president constitutionally, the presidential candidate constitutionally has the right to choose a running mate. Assuming that President or then candidate Nanado chose Dr. Baumia as his running mate. The eve to the elections, he decides that I want to change a running mate. You are a running mate and by extension a vice president at the behest of what? The presidential candidate. So if we are paying the president and the vice president by virtue of the fact that they are members of the Article 71 office holders, then we must as well pay the speaker's wife, we must as well pay the chief justice's wife, we must as well pay wives of members of parliament. Okay. In the first place, I think that the problem came, particularly this committee, when you are considering the emoluments of Article 71 office holders. The spouses of members of the Article 71 office holders are not members of the Article 71 office holders.
No, but by default, because they were already receiving allowances from the
I'm saying
monies
that
were
allowances
sent
they
to
were
the
receiving itself was wrong.
Okay, let me bring George in so he can respond to this. Honorable Mutala says that she should even pay back with interest, and this is really no show of good faith, because then she should have rejected it from the beginning and not have waited until now when there's been a public outcry about this. What do you say?
Thank you, Bella. Good morning to you. Good morning to the Honorable MP for Tamale Central. Good morning to our viewers. In the first place, I disagree with the Honorable MP for saying the Vice President is not elected. He is elected. The Vice President, once you partner the candidate, you go to the people and the candidate is elected, you are elected.
No, but whose face is on the ballot paper?
And two, the Vice President in his capacity is not there at the behest of the President. Once the two of you go and the election is done, that's the Constitution.
But whose face is on the ballot paper, which is why I'm asking.
That's why, yeah, he's right by saying he's been nominated. And to know, he knows he's in a big political party. He knows that it's not the exclusive decision of the presidential candidate. The party says that. Okay, you can even nominate, and the party may reject. So it's a collective decision. And so once the election is done, and you win with the vice. That is how come President Rawlings couldn't sack Vice President Akar when they had problems. Okay, because he was an elected Vice President of the land. Now let's come to the matter proper. This issue of emolument, again, I disagree with the Honorable MP that it started in the revolutionary days. No, if you read the Honorable Nana Todazi's edits, it started somewhere around 99, 2000, but they backdated it, okay, to rope in all those the military and all that. First lady.
Was she not receiving allowances already at that time?
Who?
The first lady.
Nana Kone.
Nana Kone.
Okay, we're talking about Nana Kone. Okay,
yes,
carry on.
Yes.
I'm just asking because of what we are talking about now.
He said he did a lot of literature and then invited all those women to meet Papa J. And they had a very fruitful discourse and, you know, handed over same to the Chief of Staff, the Honorable Jacob H. Bilamte, when the Akufo administration took over, and they continued with a practice. This issue of payment of allowances to former first ladies and co. Now, the Professor Yantiamwa Beidou committee had problems. Okay, had problems. They've been called to consider Article 71 office holders. And yet, here was something that was attached, okay, to the Article 71 office holders, which they don't see in the Constitution.
Attached.
Okay, yes, attached.
How attached?
Because all first and second ladies were being paid allowances, okay? Were being paid allowances, and they saw that, no, if it's a practice that we seem to be accepting, why don't we formalize it, okay? Make it legal, because they were not comfortable with the legality or otherwise of it.
But was that the mandate of the Emoluments Committee?
They are to consider 71 of his holders. And here you are with something that has been stringed to it, okay?
But
and
they
the
are
privileges, yes, and these people are not Article 71 office holders. That's right. And so in their recommendation, they felt, no, they couldn't have just glossed over it, because it was something that if in the future we decide to look at the works of all these emoluments committee, people may have an issue that you've been looking at this and you glossed over it, even though you know it's not constitutional. But there's the other argument, that they are being streamed in the privileges angle of the president. Okay? And when it comes to the privileges, I keep asking, does it have a remit? Okay? Does it have a remit? And we have an executive presidency. Bella, last time we had the issue of a young, brilliant guy, okay? A young, brilliant guy from Ades who had straight A's.
Yeah.
And because of his background, he needed support. The president decided, scholarship secretariat, look at this boy, get a school in London for him, and now he's there. What power did the president evoke? Because I know for sure he didn't go to parliament. Okay, what powers did he evoke? It's the executive presidency, right?
Okay.
Then the Siamese twins. What power is the president clothed with to do?
But how do we
things?
relate that to payment of first?
No,
lady
I'm
and
coming.
second lady?
I'm talking within the remit of privileges. Okay, privileges, which is the reason people, you know, these first ladies and co are being paid up to today without any bill going to parliament. And now the committee led by Professor Yantiamwa Beidou think we need to look at it. You know, they were short of saying, take it out. They just said, okay, you know, we need to formalize it.
But that wasn't their job, was it? And that's what I'm asking, that ideally for such a situation, should it not have gone to parliament?
It was, yes, that's why they said formalize.
No, as a bill, no, because it is unconstitutional. Their names have, you know, their positions have not
Do you
been
know it
stated
went to
under certain-
parliament and it was voted on?
Only the recommendations, but what I'm
Yes.
saying is that
Yeah,
for a lot
and it was
of
part
people
of
who are
it.
concerned, they are saying
Good.
that a bill should have been raised to
Yes, I
constitutionalize
agree
the
with that.
office of
I
the
agree
first and
with
second
that.
ladies
I agree with
as under 71.
Yes.
And so maybe that way,
That
if
is
Parliament
good.
had gone
And
ahead
don't
to declare, then it would be
forget,
constitutional.
don't forget, Article 71 is an entrenched clause. And so if you seek to add or take anything out, it must go through a referendum.
Okay.
You get it.
So why did you go through that?
And so
instead of
they felt, let's send it. And so I'm happy the Abronia and some NDC MPs, my chairman, they've taken it to the Supreme Court for interpretation. Let's wait for the outcome of that.
Could we not have avoided all of this if we had gone through the right channels?
Which channel? The thing has been in practice since 2000, okay? And it's become virtually the norm. But Professor Yantiamwa, we had the Dubuando committee, Chinrihesi and all, they, left it as it was.
Left what?
Okay?
They left what exactly? I mean, we had the opportunity to then correct it.
Yes, the payment of the
So we've had the
allowances.
opportunity to correct it now.
Yes.
And that was not the mandate of the Emoluments Committee.
No, they have said, but the thing is attached to that, or the office holders there.
But they are not Article 71
yes,
office
that's
holders.
why they recommended that take a look at this. Otherwise, would we be discussing it today? Did you discuss
They
it?
did not say take a look. They are saying that we are recommending that we formalize the payment of these allowances.
Good. And they took it to Parliament and they voted on it and passed it.
But the minority have said that at that time, I mean, they didn't have the
that
numbers
is
to reject it, even
that
though they raised an
immaterial.
objection.
That is immaterial.
The minority chief
That
says
is
he raised an
immaterial.
objection.
Once a vote
and
is
nothing was
carried
done
in
about
Parliament, it's a parliamentary decision. He's here, he knows it. You can dissent, you can object. Otherwise, even if you walk out and the majority decide, it's binding on all of you. You get it. So he knows that is.
But we all know how Parliament
works.
works. Even if the minority does not agree, the fact that majority has the numbers alone,
and it's a parliamentary decision.
It doesn't mean that it's a reflection of what every member
it's
in
a parliament.
Parliament.
They didn't walk out. I'm yet to know. Maybe he's here. He will tell us they walk out on that particular vote on the safe also. You get it.
Okay.
Now let's come to the issue again. Bella. Is this? I read a piece or an edit by His Excellency the former president, which edits. He admits that yes, these payments have been going on, and besides that, they even give them certain monies to function in their office. Okay, and so that is something that we can give it to you. You know, he wrote something.
Yeah, I know he has released a statement on it. Yes.
Don't ask me source. I just want to know. Your president, your candidate did that. Now, when you look at it, and then the response, look, as a first lady, it is. You have no choice, okay? If there are certain functions when the president is going, attending, maybe you say you don't want to go, but because of the position you occupy, your presence is needed at the function that the president is attending, true or false? There are others, International African First Ladies Summit. Because you are the wife of the president, you to attend, okay? And so how does your office function? That's how come they made fit under the privileges of the president to extend something for them to function in that capacity. Now, Madam Auntie Becky just said she's not going to take it as a result. I think she said it.
Because I don't know which one, Madam Auntie Becky, which one?
Her Excellency the First Lady. I guess he has ways he refers to her.
Maybe the next one is Madam Auntie Grandmother.
I was going to say Madam Becky, but I changed it to Auntie Becky.
Or maybe Grandmother.
First Lady. She is come out to say she's not going to take it. And I think she said in the statement as a result of what the brouhaha surrounding the whole thing. And she's willing to return whatever was paid to her. We will say, well, and I disagree with Honorable for likening these to a thief. I don't get it.
He just gave an example.
No, that example is a bit ludicrous.
Did you do logic?
Why do you say so?
A bit ludicrous.
Why do you say so?
Because she is there, and by virtue of the position she occupies, there's a provision that she be given these amounts for her office to function.
Which provision?
The provision that existed from 2000
up to
today.
There's a provision.
You are aware of this.
There's a provision where they are supposed to receive some amount of money from the presidency.
What do you mean by provision?
Take notes.
Is it a provision in the constitution or legal instrument? What do you mean by provision? Anyway,
George,
There's an emolument committee, whatever they do, is it not?
They never.
Let me ask, by the way, that Based on the First Lady's statement, George, based on the First Lady's statement where she's saying that she's made this decision because of the public outcry, does it mean that if the public had not spoken against this, she would have found this as okay?
Oh, come on, yes. All of them have taken it. All of them have taken the allowance, okay? All of them have taken it up to today.
Should they return theirs?
Some have started calling on the other former First Ladies to return theirs.
What do you think? Should they return theirs?
It should be their decision. As long as Parliament has not revoked these issues. Okay? They voted. And we wait till Chairman Abronye succeeds at the Supreme Court to say that all the issue is unconstitutional and not binding legally. And so it's null and void ab initio. Okay. If that becomes the case, then it means everybody that is benefited need to make a refund. Okay? That is, so let's allow them. This one is Auntie Becky herself.
Today you said Madam, Auntie.
I call her Mama Becky.
Okay.
You're all patronizing her.
That's how he calls her.
I'm a party person.
Don't patronize her.
No, I'm a party person.
You'll be put out at that. Oh, they know.
I'm a party person. Okay. We see her as our mother. You get it? And so we try to be a bit informal. Okay? Addressing your mother. You get it? So if she has decided she's not going to take it, what she has released is not binding on the second lady. You know that. Until the second lady also decides to release her own. So as of now, what we're reading is just about the first lady. Okay?
But I mean, automatically, if the first lady is returning the money, then I guess
so the second lady may also issue her statement. Okay? Then we expect the other ones, Madam Lordina from 2009 to date, and the issue of back pay and co. Let me explain why the committee made that recommendation.
Okay.
Honorable here, I think last week we had a good then I stated what the Honorable Sam George said, and that is a succinct argument. Which argument is that when they come, the information minister says they draw an account. But what it means is that, all MPs or all Article 71 office holders will be taking something of the previous one whilst the committee works. And when they finish their work, then they establish a new salary for all the Article 71 office holders. Then there's going to be a difference between what the new one is and what they were drawing on. That difference is what is paid to them. Some argue is we call the ex gratia. You get it? Okay. And so definitely, once a recommendation is being made and what she's supposed to take now is higher than what she was taking, that difference definitely will be paid.
And that is what has been paid already, which is what she has returned.
No. This is what she's taking as a result of the drawdown on an account.
Okay.
You get it?
Okay.
And so that is it. And that is how come they say with back pay. Okay? So that is that. And unless if you have any other figure, you can school me on that.
All right. Let Honorable Mutala come in
First and foremost, when I was making reference to the fact that the vice president was not elected by the MPP, you remember I said, strictly speaking, I was conscious of the fact that you elect the president with his running mate. But I said, strictly speaking, the MPP as a political party didn't elect Dr. Bawumia. It was a decision taken by President Nana Addo to choose Dr. Bawumia. That is the point, and I think I need to make it. Again, when he talks about privilege, by the way, the list said about the provisions, the better. I don't know which provisions he's talking about, whether a constitutional provision or a legal instrument. The Ntiamo committee didn't have any business talking about the salaries or emoluments or whatever allowances given to first ladies and second ladies. Wow. They are not members of Article 71. Period. You don't even need to go further. They are not. And in any case, the allowances have been given to them under the office of the Chief of Staff. It is not determined by the people of this country. And now when you talk about executive presidency, we practice the hybrid system. The executive presidency doesn't give absolute power to the president to do what he likes. There are certain things that within the hybrid system we operate, the president can do them. But not everything. Yes. It's not only a president. A minister can decide that in this ministry, there is something we want to do. It may not be captured in the budget. The minister can decide that under the prevailing circumstances, let's do this. There are some unprepared and unforeseen, things that come as a result of your expenditure within the, the fiscal year. You can do some of those things. So to liken it to the president directing that someone should be given scholarship has got absolutely nothing to do with this illegality. So in the first place, to consider the emoluments of Article 71 office holders, you have no business adding allowances, no business. So when you say that it was attached, it has never been attached to it. Never. What do you mean by attached? When you say attached, you yourself have indicated that Article 71 office holders, that particular provision in the Constitution is an entrenched clause. Those clauses can only be amended, changed through a referendum, not even through Parliament. Now, how come that the allowances that was decided not by the Constitution, not by any legal instrument, the allowances that was decided to be given to first ladies was a decision taken by the presidency. They can set up a committee to do something. It doesn't make it legal. So it is in no form or no way attached to Article 71 office holders. It is not. So when you said, because the committee realized that, you said that. No, it is not in any, please.
Okay.
It is not in any way. Why? That if we decide, if the president decides that they want to be given allowances, whether through Dazi or whoever, giving allowances to the first ladies because of ABCD. That is what they want to do. It has got nothing to do with Article 71 office holders.
But they fall under.
They fall under the privileges of who? You decide that by virtue, hold on. You decide that by virtue, you decide that by virtue of the first lady being the spouse of the president, you have decided that you do this. It doesn't make it legal.
Okay. Moving
so
forward.
The point I'm just making is that, look, if you read the statement issued by the office of the first lady, she even said that a bipartisan decision. That is absolutely misleading.
How?
When they say something is bipartisan, and let me help my brother. When they say something is bipartisan, it means that all political parties, in the case of Parliament, have agreed.
Yes.
Have agreed. In this case, the minority didn't agree. The House that has captured it. In fact, you brought in, it was about over 100-page document.
Is it material?
Hold on, it is.
How?
Oh, listen to me. When you say bipartisan, I'm schooling you. If you are not prepared to learn, I believe that
we're
Bella
listening.
is. When you say something is bipartisan, it means that there is consensus of all political parties' representation that we all agreed. That is why in America, you always have the Democrats and the Republicans in terms of this Obamacare, that they are working towards getting a bipartisan at a point, one person has agreed to go with it. But where there is disagreement, in this case, the minority opposed that particular one because you brought in a document, the entire emolument that was worked on, over 100-page document. Then at that time, Honorable Mutaka raised objection that this thing is not supposed to be part of it. Then you went in and you voted. The minority voted against that particular position. It doesn't mean that there is an agreement. And that is why when you were pointing out to him, the fact that Parliament approves it, you can say that, yes, there was a parliamentary approval. Hold on. You can say that there was a parliamentary approval. That you are right. But when you issue a statement and say a bipartisan agreement, it means that all the political parties agreed. It is misleading.
Okay.
The NDC opposed it. The NDC raised objection. You use your numbers, and your numbers, you voted for it. It doesn't mean that the NDC was in agreement. And that is the point Bella was trying to help you with. You are not willing to be helped.
Now, members of your party have decided to go to court.
To be helped.
They decided to go to court to get an explanation of this whole situation and also to declare that this is null and void. Now that the First Lady says, I am returning the money, I'm refunding the money, and I'm rejecting this offer by the Emoluments Committee, what happens to this,
It doesn't change anything. In any case, I realized I was just talking about Abronya. When people have gone to court long before even Abronya, he reduced it to my chairman, my vice chairman.
No, but he did mention others. He said,
but I'm saying that in his conclusion.
My friend, the honorable.
He made reference to them as well. So what happens to this?
It doesn't change anything. The reason why such cases must be determined, so that there can be a finality in this matter. If the president or all of us agreed that we must pay allowances to the spouse or salaries to the spouses of first Article 71 office holders, if you read the statement issued by NAT, is it NAT, right?
TUC.
TUC.
Yes.
They reminded the president. They are reminding the president that if he is going to take a decision to regularize it, then he should be reminded that the wife of the speaker of Parliament deserve same because they also perform some functions. The wife of the Chief Justice and other Article 71 office holders deserve same. But I'm saying that, if you read the statement, I read the statement they issued, in the matter of this, salaries of spouses of Article 71 office holders. So I'm saying that we can liken it. It simply doesn't make sense. If we all agreed as a people that, look, henceforth, we want to add the spouses of Article 71 office holders to be members of the Article 71 office holders, let's do that together.
Okay.
Or if we all agree that, yes, let's give them some salary, we can do that. But as long as there is no any agreement, anybody doing that and trying to find salvage under the guise of privileges of the president and the vice president, for me, is void. So it is good they go to court. There will be a determination in this matter. But I still insist that if the first lady, Grandmother Rebecca, because that was the only thing
he just said
Madam.
He just said
the next
Madam.
thing would have been Grandmother Rebecca.
Mama Becky.
I mean, Grandmother Becky, old lady Becky. We can give her all kinds of names.
I'm saying that. She's not an old lady.
But she's older than
No,
me.
she's not an old lady.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
She's not.
She's a young lady.
Yes. So to
Young
be
lady,
fair, let's
young
just
lady,
refer
young-
to her as
His
Her
Excellency
Excellency.
says, my beautiful
Let's
Rebecca.
refer to her as Her Excellency.
I have a problem with even this Her Excellency, and I'm not making reference to this first lady.
I have a problem with the tag Her Excellency.
Look, and I'm saying that I'm not making reference to only this.
Yeah.
Any other? On what business are we describing?
But that's what I've been asking you, that you did not raise objections all this while until now.
As an
Which objection?
MP.
The same objections
Since
about the
Parliament.
monuments. I remember last week we asked the same question, that why is it that you did not raise objections even about the allowances since then? Now you're telling us that you have a problem with the tag Her Excellency
To be
too.
very honest with you, Bella, until now, this issue hadn't come to public attention for such profound and vigorous discussion.
So you were waiting for the public to raise it?
No, there are objections I might have raised. I can't come here and then we are discussing NADMO, giving expired food to the people of Upper West under the jurisdiction of my friend, and I start talking about Your Excellency.
Have you never referred to the first ladies, even under the NDC administration, as Her Excellency?
Not much I remember.
Okay,
Because
but there must have been instances where you probably said
yes,
Her
yes.
Excellency, even though you have a problem with the tag?
Yes, even this first lady. I believe I have referred to her as Your Excellency.
What is wrong with the tag?
I am saying that the excellency in this country is just like this country. If a person contests assemblyman and then loses, he is honorable. He is honorable in this country, even if those who contested. If you are a member of parliament, remember, I don't even like that title. But even the member of parliament, you are only honorable as long as you remain the member of parliament. When you leave parliament, you are no longer honorable in this country. You address the president, Your Excellency, the vice president, Your Excellency, and then the first lady, the second lady, Your Excellency.
But what would you want us to refer to her as?
Mama, Auntie Rebecca.
Okay.
Mama, Auntie
Let George come in quickly before.
But to address them as this, Your Excellency. I mean, let's get serious. And I'm being serious about this.
Okay.
We are so much interested in titles. Do you know there are some people, if you don't address them as honorable, they get angry? Must I be referred to honorable to be able to deliver, to perform a function for which I was elected?
Okay.
Your Excellency.
All right.
Excellency.
Well, I have a message that someone has sent. I'll read that later. But George, let's come in, because he says that the lawsuit is inconsequential. But then we all need to understand that moving forward, now she's not collecting the money anymore.
Yeah.
She should pay the interest.
Yeah, as for interest, there you backdate it up to.
Yes.
Yes, 2000.
She has chosen to
over
return the money.
Over 3.6
for us to bring you Auntie Becca.
Let George speak, please.
These titles, I don't think they are very too much and so much enthused about it. It's a title by association, right?
They describe you honorable. Don't the people call you honorable?
Yes.
Are you honorable?
Yes, by association.
How?
You get it?
They describe you honorable.
Honorable.
Don't worry, let's move on. We don't have much time.
You get it?
George, we don't have much
Now,
time.
yes, so this issue, and I agree with the Honorable Mutala.
Comrade Mutala, I beg you.
You prefer comrades?
I'm a
Okay.
preacher.
Oh, Murtala,
so I'm a preacher.
Okay.
So comrade, I'm not a comrade, so I can.
But-
George, let's carry on. Don't worry about that.
The Honorable Murtala that whether Auntie Becky decides to take it or not to take it, it doesn't affect, you know, the other people who are willing to take it until and unless Parliament revokes that decision. And then, you know, we wait for the decision by the Supreme Court, a la the case brought against this issue by Chama Abronya. I'll prefer to refer to somebody from my stable. So I call Chairman Abronya on this issue. So let's get it straight and then to the point. And again, Bella, I think the Professor Yain Tiamwa Beidu Committee did a very good work by bringing this to the public's eye because they were not too comfortable with it. Because it's been there. Well, we can agree that the privileges are said by Nana Todasi, that they are using the privileges of the office of the president to extend that to them. Let's look at it holistically, as Comrade is said. Holistically, you know, and see whether going forward, should we still have this in place? But I think, you know, due to the works they do, if you remember 31st December, Nana Kunedu Ajima Rollins, we were all excited by her performances. Then, you know, getting women, mobilizing the women, and go on until ultimately we got to know it was a platform to lift from the NDC political party. Ultimately,
How?
No, when her husband, you know, stopped being a soldier and then became a candidate, she had then mobilized the ground. Seriously.
Buzia used the NCC. Buzia.
Don't worry, no,
He used the NCC to become. He used the NCC for elections. He didn't even win the elections. Were rigged for him. You wanted to talk about it?
I wasn't saying it negatively.
He used NCC.
But it was a smart decision. She mobilized and it worked. The Gary processing factories, soap making. It was, you know, a phenomenal performance by Nana Kunedu. Then, whether you like them or not, what she was doing was phenomenal.
That was the time you guys were
but the
argument
that we had made,
Comrade, easy for me, please.
The argument we had made then was that, you know, the entourage that goes with her to commission a Gary process.
But at least she did some work.
It was phenomenal. Even up to today, when you go to Cape Coast North, there's a place called 31st December area. You get in the our community along the Elmina Road. And so these are issues that First Ladies perform some functions. Should we continue to give them allowances to function properly and effectively or not? And the last one, Bella, my worry, I pray that let's take a cursory look at this because that office is very powerful. If anybody decides to use it as a conduit for other things, it may worry all of us.
What exactly do you mean by that?
Going into the future.
What do you
I'll leave
mean
it
by
at that.
No, what do you mean? You need to expatiate. You cannot just make, you know, statements like that and not explain to us. When you say conduits for other things, I'll make sure you explain.
No, he's now praising Nana Kunedu. He's now praising the work Nana Kunedu.
I'm telling you, the functions
of the office of
he
was citing an example.
No, Cicero was right. Go. You see, when he said that politics was a country idiot, in politics anything is possible. They lambasted this woman, lambasted the things she was doing. They didn't care whether she was creating jobs for women, you know, and the they didn't care today.
But George was the one who was lambasted.
All of them.
I mean, he's allowed to also have an opinion.
All of them.
Let Cookie read some messages. Cookie, welcome.
Comrade is in suit today. I'm surprised.
Can I?
Okay, we have to read messages.
He's looking good, but the messages are not looking too good.
Okay,
for
let's
him.
see.
Yeah, but quite a number of messages, so I'll skip a few of them. Forgive me if I skip yours. But first one says, "Good morning, Bella. Kindly let Mr. Murtala retract and apologize for previously lying on live TV about medical doctors enjoying tax-free import duty on vehicles. Something. Let me finish, Honorable. Something JDM cancelled and he is definitely aware of. For the spouses' salaries, Ghanaians are not angry enough. We pay presidents and vice presidents, and the state provides everything for them absolutely in excess of 40,000 Ghana, and they want to pay their wives the first and second ladies working than any single professional in this country. Lay from Tamale is asking that question. Good morning, Bella and your colleagues. I am really afraid. Where are we headed as a country? People out there are struggling to feed. Others are jobless. Students are sitting under trees. People losing their lives day in, day out blackouts because of bad roads, no potable water, and many things that need to be fixed in this country. And we are talking about politicians, 28 million loans to buy cars. This country must be fixed. Mugis from Tamale sent in that one. For the first time, I am extremely disappointed in the submission of Comrade Mutala. Is he aware that Mrs. Emisa Arthur and Lodina were taking the same amount? Are they superhuman? Yesterday it was them, so they find everything wrong with it. Today it is Rebecca, so they didn't find anything wrong with it. Today it is Rebecca, so it is bad. She's refunding the money, and Ghanaians expect Lodina and Mrs. Emisa Arthur to do the same. Henceforth, their salaries must be cancelled. I rest my case. Akwesi Shoka from Kim Takrase sent in that one. Good morning, Bella. I can tell you without any hesitation that Ghanaians are waiting for these monies to be paid to the first and second ladies with interest. Ghana is not owned by President Akufo-Addo and his family. Good morning, Bella. We are told we are not in normal times, and the government thinks this is the best time to pay the first and second ladies. Very shameful venture. Bukuri Song in Tamale sent in that one. I'll skip this one because it's quite long. There's one that says that she would only be convinced if Madame Rebecca returns the money into a bank that can be declared. She wants to know which bank, number one, the refund will be made to, receipt of payment, and then confirmation into which account exactly which account the payment will be made. And she will be convinced that really Auntie Rebecca or Madame Rebecca has truly returned the money from 2017. I've read this one already. It's coming twice. And I'll skip this one and come to the last one, and it says, good morning, Bella. In as much as I agree with Honorable Mutala on the legality of the issue of the first and second ladies' payments, straining every nerve to downplay the decision by the First Lady on matter of principle is very pathetic, to say the least. After all, she's shown good faith and has to be commended for it. Michael Anefi from Easter Denton, Ritz Junction sent in that one, Bella.
Thank you so much. Let me just read a few messages as well. Alaji Hamza from Pig Farm says, Bella, I think this issue can simply be corrected when a new bill, including the First Lady and the Second Lady to Parliament, to be passed, so that they can be included in the office holders of Article 71. But doing so, the public can hold their offices accountable. Bella, I'm sad and worried to read the front story of the Daily Guide, which has made it their duty to be attacking the former First Lady, Madame Lodina. I think it is shameful on the part of them to be doing what they're doing. My greetings to my brother, Honorable Mutala. Tell him that he's looking good this morning in his suit. You're getting a lot of, for your suits as well. But George, now they're asking for receipts.
Everything will be.
Yeah, there were some allegations.
Honestly,
Let me just let him respond
I
to
think
some
that
of
the
these.
person who sent the text, that I said that doctors, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not even aware that that particular opportunity was taken off, because I knew that doctors had the privilege of importing one car. Remember, there were even some allegations that some doctors. I'm not even aware of teachers. You see, so I'm not even aware. So the best person who sent the text, genuinely, I didn't even know that that particular privilege has been taken. I don't know when they will do it.
Okay.
When?
I think I'm the Professor Miles also.
Yeah, I'm not aware.
Okay.
Because I only know that there were some discussions that some doctors were abusing it, that they would ask friends to bring in. These were allegations. They would ask friends to bring in vehicles. So I didn't make a statement that was not true.
George, when will we get the receipts?
Definitely.
And the bank. And the interest.
Madam.
I'm not sure about interest. That's a different discussion altogether.
Beautiful sweet mom, Auntie Becky,
The what?
is you know, the president has always said, my beautiful Rebecca. You get it. And it's right, you know. Once she said she's going to return or refund it to the state, she's going to do that. And what the texters are asking for is exactly what is going to be done. I'm sure the information minister or her PRO at her office will definitely bring this to the public domain once these things are refunded. And it will be, once she's written the letter and put it in the public domain, it's just proper, right and proper to bring the documents when she's completed the refund and make it known to the public. So that's good. But it doesn't also mean that, you know, anybody who occupies that office hereafter is not entitled to those things until, as I repeat, Parliament revokes or the Supreme Court rules that what Parliament did was unconstitutional and null and void ab initio, then it dates back to when.
Okay.
So that
Comrade, are we going to see the same thing done with MPs as well? Will they reject that loan?
No, Madam Lordina, and then Mrs. all of them.
You said it's really up to them.
Bella, you see this, I realized that the texter was trying to appeal to the emotions of the people of this country, trying to tell me that Madam Lordina and the wife of the former Vice President, Msata, were all taken. I have responded to that question here when you asked me that this thing has never been brought to the front burner as we are discussing it now. And I don't think that anybody had any problem.
As a lawmaker, you could have initiated
I'm saying that I don't think that anybody had any problem with allowances even given to them. The concerns of people has to do with the fact that they are pegging them now as cabinet ministers.
That was done under JM.
No.
Hold on, Joe.
Then what they are now doing is that they peg them as cabinet ministers. And in fact, they take the salary even when their husbands leaves office.
Yes.
And if your husband was fortunate to have ruled for 2 terms, you would have to take the same full salary. I get what I'm saying. As the first lady, the second lady would take the 80% of the salary. And you know what they even do? They take the salaries of cabinet ministers who are members of parliament. I mean, these are the issues. So the Texas should get it in context. The challenge, I'm saying that the challenge, hold on, the challenge has to do not just the allowances that was given to them. Those allowances were arranged at the level of the chief of staff. We are now talking about trying to regularize it such that they earn the same salaries as cabinet ministers in their capacity as who?
And I'm asking that.
No, previously they took it.
The allowances they were taking fine.
Somebody's salary is your allowance. And you're okay with that?
And the MP is also going to reject this loan because yesterday it was established by Honorable John Kumar that it was even unconstitutional for monies or loans to be given to MPs to purchase
my position
vehicles.
on this program, and I will reiterate saying, we don't need the loans.
Okay.
Give us the vehicles.
Okay.
Now, if you don't give us the vehicles, and you expect us to perform a particular task, and you have an arrangement that you are giving us loans, why is it that people are not asking the question that out of the Article 71 office holders, it is only members of parliament who are made to pay for the vehicles?
So should you reject the loans so that you make your point clear?
Bella, my position, Bella, if you check through the archives, when I came to parliament in 2013, after the 2012 elections, my position was repeated. Give us the vehicle. You see, when I went to Ministry of Information, there was a Land Cruiser which was 2009 Land Cruiser. And I went there, I used that Land Cruiser. When I was going to Ministry of Trade, I went with it.
Okay.
So if the state can decide that let's have a pool of vehicles, those pool of vehicles, any MP who is going to your constituency, we make that vehicle available to you. We don't have any problem at all with that.
All right.
Attached to
That's about it for this morning. We have to go, unfortunately. I've been speaking to Comrade Murtala Mohammed. He's the MP for Tamale Central. And he says that the First Lady should return the money with interest. Even though the First Lady has said that they have refunded these monies, he says there should be interest on that. We're asking that question, that should the former, well, she says it has been, hold on, let me just check. It says in view of this, she's decided to refund all the monies that have been paid her. Should the former First Ladies and Second Ladies also refund the monies? And I'm asking you, let us know. Our social media handles are TV3 New Day, of course, at TV3 Ghana. And also, I've been speaking to Mr. George Ayisi. He's the communications director. We're speaking to, he's a communications director for NADMO. Big thank you to Miss Laurel